This is a broad spectrum reading. If you have heavily placed, I can't even think. All right, if you have Sun, Moon, or Rising, or heavily placed planets, which would indicate 3 or more, this would be a video you might want to watch to see what type of an August you might be having. Okay, if you're watching on behalf of a Taurus, that's more than okay. Welcome. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the video. Share the video out. Leave a question or comment. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. All right, I'm going to get right into the reading. This first card is the guide card, the mantra or a focus that you want to keep, Taurus, for the month of August. So this is card number 2, I am free. I release myself from the thoughts and feelings that have held me back. Any guilt, shame, embarrassment, self-doubt, and fear that I harbor, I release. Today, I am free. What a lovely card. Oh, hi. It's a little drunk, that card, but that's okay. What a lovely card to have for the month of August, Taurus. I kind of don't necessarily see Taurians as being the most freest of signs, right? You guys usually are very dedicated, long haul kind of people. Free to me feels like, you know, a little bit maybe might feel irresponsible to you. But enjoy it. Maybe place yourself first. It is card number 2. 2s make me think of relationships, interconnectedness, right? How we connect with others. There might be a freedom or an opportunity where we can kind of place ourselves first above everybody else. So go with that. Allow yourself to sort of roll with the changes. I know that Taurus is like, conformity, sort of things being planned out, understood, expected, right? That sort of thing. No big spontaneous shifts or changes. To me, I would say that with this I am free is we get to explore the spontaneous shifts and changes this month with some optimism, some opportunity. It will feel good, maybe even. And that will be fun. Maybe it's the energy of the summer, the warmth, all of that sort of stuff could be kicking in and we could be feeling that. And it makes us feel a little bit more like we can flow a little bit more easily. We don't have to be so, I don't know, sort of stuck in old ways of being. We might be able to explore some new opportunities or new ways of connecting with others, right? It might be a little bit, how do I want to say it? Like a little bit more momentary rather than permanent. Does that make sense? Just go with it, Taurus. All right, so here's your center card for the month. This tells me sort of where you guys are centered at for the month, what you could potentially be creating for the future too. So this is the 8 of Wands. So this is the freedom that we see in I am free. 8 of Wands is fast moving energy, faster than Taurus probably naturally likes to go. Wands can be about, the 8 of Wands certainly can, Wands can be about travel, taking action, making decisions. The 8 of Wands is a positive card, 8 being that sense of balance, which I like that because I know that Tauruses really love to feel balanced, but you guys tend to feel balanced in like sort of planning ahead, moving slowly or cautiously, having a sort of plan and a backup plan. 8 of Wands doesn't necessarily always indicate the opportunity to do that. It's more in the moment. It's more, I got to jump when I got to jump. I got to trust my sort of gut. And you guys have good gut, right? Like you guys are smart. You're discerning. You're dedicated. You know how to assess a situation. The 8 of Wands moves it a little bit faster, right? So I think that you may not be able to fully like do the assessment you always like to do in the month of August. The energy might be moving quicker, but it's a positive card, right? It's moving us in a way that is maybe a little bit fast, maybe a little bit furious, but it should be fun. It should be liberating. It should be exciting, right? So embrace that and let it happen. Sometimes the 8 of Wands can be a romantic card. So let's look for that as we will look at the other cards and see if that is something that comes up. But I don't want to necessarily predict that for the Tauruses this month. We might be, if anything, if this is our center, we would be moving towards somebody in romance rather than them moving towards us, is how I would perceive this. But let's see what comes out in the rest of the cards. This could just be about moving towards something that we love. It doesn't necessarily have to be another person, but it can be like a desire or a goal that we're excited about. And so be prepared, because this could be a bit of a fun ride, like whatever. I'm sorry, my jaw is hurting, so just bear with me, Taurus. All right, so the next card is the Foundation. This card tells me a bit about the past, what sort of opened the door to have everything be the way that it is today in the reading. This card also tells me a little bit sort of about what the memory of this card is sort of holding everything in place or driving everything into the future. So this is the Queen of Swords. She's analytical at best, right? She is a truth teller. She tends to be a little bit emotional, but she leads with her intelligence first and foremost, right? She is going to be compassionate and kind, but very clear in sort of what she wants, right? So somewhere, I want to say in our past, Taurus, we came into this idea of what it is that we maybe want, how it is we want to think, where it is we want to place our focus, our attention, our goal setting towards the future. Now, maybe the month to kind of move ahead, especially with that 8 of Wands in the center. I like that you have the Queen of Swords as your driving force, or the sort of memory that holds everything in place, because she's going to be smart, she's going to be savvy, she's going to be clear, honest, and true in whatever she's doing. You certainly were this way somewhere in the past. The awakening, the realization, all of it, I would connect it somewhat to your emotional well-being, or maybe there were shifts or changes, choices that were made where you needed to preserve yourself emotionally. So you had to maybe, sometimes the Queen of Swords can represent, to me, because it's the swords, that element of kind of the truth having to force us to make a cut somewhere in our lives, or make a change somewhere in our lives, or steer ourselves in a different direction. So somewhere we started to look at that different direction. And now the 8 of Wands to me feels like the actual movement towards that goal, the action that's required, the decisions that need to be made, and the swiftness with which we're going to start to move, right? Wands and swords are going to feed off of each other. They're obviously complementary energies. They're not opposing, but they're opposite of Taurus's earth energy, but they can be quite dynamic, quite fiery, and they feed each other, right? So keep that in mind. They are working together, although they might be working a little bit quicker or faster than you might be comfortable with. The next card is your Spirit or Soul card. Let's see what that is. This is where your spirit wants you to kind of pay attention and something it wants you to focus on during this month. So this is the 7 of Pentacles. I like this because this is Taurus spirit to me. Pentacles obviously being the earth element, which is your guys' home element. But the 7 of Pentacles is also about that patience, that dedication, that hard work ethic, that ability to focus, that ability to dedicate oneself to a project, to a desire, to a goal, right? We have that in spades being Taurus. So even if we're working in quick thinking action or decisions, really just, I don't know if discerning is the right word, but really clear thought towards our goals. If that stuff feels a little bit scary or unnerving, because it's like we're making the decisions in the moment, having to make the plan as we go rather than set it up first and then begin to take steps. The 7 of Pentacles says to me that we can trust what we're doing. We can take heart in the decisions that we're making now, that in the long-term picture of everything, we will get there. We just need to be sort of in faith, in trust, in our own sort of highest intelligence, and make the moves for ourselves rather than for anybody else, right? There's this idea of like our own, like to me, the 7 of Pentacles in the spirit space says we can trust our own sort of internal dialogue, our own, even if we're thinking in new, different ways that might be not as, I don't know, what's the word? Like, I feel like this Queen of Swords is like this school of new thought that we've adopted somewhere back before, right? And so we have to trust her. We have trusted her in the past. We want to, maybe take the risk this August towards going after the thing that we want. We have to trust ourselves and know that we can do it, even if we have to maybe behave differently or move in a different fashion. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. The next 2 cards are the outside influences. These are what is influencing you either positively or negatively in the month of August. They can be people, events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are having an effect. One is the Hermit. I'll take it. This is Virgo energy, totally your sister sign. The Hermit is major arcana, so this is going to be big insight for you, big sort of awareness. This is little bit about a spiritual journey, maybe going towards what one's truth is, their internal truth, the pursuit of that, opportunities through introspection to find out our own sort of truth, our own skill set, allowing our skill set to sort of shine through. To me, this is like the outside universe kind of trying to throw you big opportunities to honor that Seven of Pentacles in the spirit space, right? Because we have that Virgo energy, which would align with the Seven of Pentacles in the Hermit. But it's through like experiences that are going on around us that drive us to kind of rely internally upon ourselves. That would be sort of the Hermit's energy to me, right? And when I'm looking at this Eight of Wands is very extroverted and moving forward in its plan. The Queen of Swords wants us to move forward too. The Seven of Pentacles wants us to be smart about how we move forward. The Virgo nature of the Hermit is going to teach us, show us, grow us in a way that's going to be powerful, strong, and good as we move forward this month, right? This I am free idea here in this guide card to me also speaks to this hermit. The hermit sort of gains his wisdom, his enlightenment through doing that deep soul searching. So I think that we've been in this process probably for a while. That's sort of the Queen of Swords too. She's maybe contemplating things from in the past that we wanted. Now it's time to sort of put those things into action, but it's also like there's opportunities around us that show us the deepening or the cementing of that realization through the Hermit, if that makes sense. The next outside influence is the Six of Swords. So between the Hermit and the Six of Swords, I would say that this is not going to be the most social month for you guys, but I'm okay with that because there's this idea of being free, right? Where we might release ourselves from any sort of obligations, responsibilities that we have to others. It's not like we're not going to be social this month, but we're certainly not placing other people and their needs ahead of ourselves. The Six of Swords is about moving to calmer waters, about chilling things out, disengaging from like anything that has been a struggle in the past or fighting. It's sort of like removing ourselves from that. The Hermit also has that sort of retracted quality to it, right? Where he kind of goes inward and searches within himself. So there is this idea of the focus is on ourselves, where we want to be and how are we going to get there. That's the I am free. That is the movement of the Eight of Wands. That is the clarity and the truth of the Queen of Swords. And that is the work and the patience and the dedication that the Seven of Pentacles has in the spirit space, right? But to me, when I look at the Six of Swords and I look at the Hermit, it feels like our environment, people around us, situations, they're going to offer us these opportunities to sort of withdraw, steer the ship or turn the ship in a different direction, move our trajectory towards what it is that we want. And then we have to dedicate, ourselves to that movement. And we will. I really do feel that we will. But it's not, the Hermit, how do I want to say this? I feel like the Hermit necessarily, although it is Virgo energy, which will be very beneficial and I think in line with my Taurian people that are going through this, it's not like, sometimes it can be a bit of work, but when have you ever shied away from work, right? You don't necessarily. And that's the Seven of Pentacles up in your spirit space, which says to me, you can do the work, you can put in the effort, you can be patient with yourself, and you can make this work, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is the truth is, whatever that truth is that you discovered back in the past that you're now kind of ready to risk or move forward towards, to separate yourself from the things that maybe bind you, to free yourself, to pursue the things that deep down inside you really, really want. now's the month to start to begin to take the action to move that. We also see 2 movement cards in the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. So not only are we moving internally, right, in our center, but we're also finding there's movement in that 6 of Swords from the outside environment. That's going to help to move us too. And again, that 8 of Wands and that 6 of Swords will be reciprocating energy, feeding off of each other and helping each other to move along. So keep that in mind. So let's get into the potential outcomes card. This card tells me sort of a bit about where things are going to end out for the Tauruses. This is not set in stone, but it gives us indication as to where things might end out for the majority of you, barring that nothing major changes. If this card is negative and we don't want to have it come to pass, we can use it as a warning right now to make choices and changes through free will to affect the outcome. But if this card is positive, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it. We can just keep going about doing what we've been doing. So this is the 4 of Wands. I will take it. 4 of Wands is, again, with that Wands energy, moving towards what it is that we desire spiritually, what it is that we want, what it is that we love, right? And for some of you, this could be a person, because the 4 of Wands can indicate that sort of union, that sort of soulmate-y connection. I don't get super duper love stuff off of the other cards, but there might be 1 or 2 of you that watch this that like are actually trying to connect to a very significant other. And this could be the result of the end of the month, actually finding that connection, or certainly solidifying that connection a little bit more. For those of you that are pursuing something that you love dearly, like say a job or something that makes you feel spiritually lit up or inspired, you'll reach that, or you'll get certainly a much closer connection to it by the end of August by doing the work that is in front of you, right? By making the decisions that you need to make for yourself rather than for anybody else, right? This is not the month, when I look at these cards, this is not the month to be in service of others in that way. Like I almost look at like this, and to me it feels like when we're in service to ourselves, we're actually doing more of a service to our environment around us and those within it, and we don't even realize it. And that's like probably a big part of this reading. And that's like when I say that to you, I get pulled towards that I am free. So there's this opportunity here by serving ourselves and our own desires and doing so in a way that is inspired and excited, that allows us to be able to be in more service to others later down the line. Does that make sense? The 4 of Wands is a beautiful card to end out the month on, because it is connected, it is stable, but it is that beautiful spiritual Wands energy. For those of you that are finding love or finding, access to the things that inspire us, that we're passionate about, enjoy it, right? There's like sort of, to me, when I look at this, there's a little bit of deep soul searching this month, but it's not painful by any means. It's like, to me, it's inspiring, it's enlightening, and it's bringing us closer to our goals, trusting our clarity, trusting our sort of our work ethic, our dedication, and really understanding that it's such a so much more of a deeper level than maybe we have in the past, that maybe that's the very thing that frees us from, I don't know, the obligations or the things that have sort of maybe been in our way up until this point. I hope that makes sense, Taurus. I think that it does. That is your forecast for the month of August. I hope you have a wonderful August. Again, please, if you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share this with your Taurian friends, and I look forward to seeing you guys next month. You can always tune in every day on the YouTube channel for the daily forecast. And have a wonderful August, you guys. All right, take care. Bye-bye.